How long have we all been hearing about flying cars? Since forever, right? Well, congratulations, because you've finally made it to that anticipated technological age. Yes, you heard that right. Flying taxis, also known as eVTOLs, or electric vertical takeoff and landing, are making quite the headlines in recent years. The technology has, without a doubt, made an incredible breakthrough and opened doors for a revolutionary urban travel system. Several companies like Uber, Airbus, and Boeing are currently working on developing flying cars, and many experts predict that we'll be seeing flying cars in the air within the next few years. But we hate to break it to you. This idea might seem innovative and exciting, but it still has a long way to go. Like every new thing in the world, the idea of eVTOL, too, comes with a number of challenges which, unfortunately, our cities are not capable of handling right now. The first and most obvious challenge is, where will the flying taxis land and take off? The answer to this question is what's standing between us and this new world of air travel. Without appropriate infrastructure in place, it's impossible for this idea to hit off the ground. To understand this better, we'll have to take a step back and learn what these vehicles actually are. Welcome to the Elite Originals. What are these vehicles? You might have noticed a term we used earlier, eVTOL. This is a nerdy term for flying cars or taxis that are now listed under a new category named Urban Air Mobility. These flying machines come in all shapes and sizes, but are nothing like a helicopter. They're even better. No crazy noise, safer, and more maneuverable thanks to the multiple rotors. Plus, they're more eco-friendly, cheaper, and not to mention cleaner, as they're powered through electricity. The challenges of infrastructure. All of this sounds like everything is going in the right direction with the development of this cutting-edge travel system, but don't keep your hopes too high. The development of a flying taxi network is all talk and no action without the necessary infrastructure required to support it. Unlike traditional ground-based transportation systems, eVTOLs require a unique infrastructure to accommodate their unique features, such as vertical takeoff and landing and fast charging times. While there have been some promising developments in the technology behind eVTOLs, such as multiple rotors for improved maneuverability and quiet electric powertrains for reduced noise pollution, there's still a lot of ifs and buts when it comes to developing the infrastructure needed to support these vehicles. One of the biggest challenges is finding suitable locations for eVTOLs to take off and land. One might think of traditional airports and helipads suitable for some eVTOLs, but even though this can work, it's not in line with eVTOL's main purpose, which is to serve the masses. For that, this idea is not a scalable solution to support a large number of vehicles serving a wide range of locations. Another challenge is developing the charging infrastructure needed to support eVTOLs. The batteries used in these vehicles require super fast charging times to minimize downtime between flights, and this requires specialized charging stations that can provide high levels of power in the least time possible. Finally, there is the challenge of integrating eVTOLs into the existing air traffic control systems. As you might have guessed, significant investment in technology and infrastructure will be needed to ensure eVTOLs can operate safely alongside traditional aircraft. Short-term solutions. While there are significant challenges to be overcome, there are also some short-term solutions proposed for eVTOLs. One of the most obvious solutions is a helipad. Of course, being the most similar to these flying machines than any other vehicle, this was seen coming. But again, eVTOL's whole idea is based on serving the masses, not just the few handfuls who have the money for it. Clement Monet, the former CEO of Airbus, explains another problem with a helipad. You can't land several helicopters on one helipad, so people have to book at other sites which aren't near to them. So it is really critical and important to build this infrastructure network, and I believe we will have a mix of vertiports and vertipads. To overcome the problem in the previous post, many have proposed to repurpose existing infrastructure, such as airports, especially the ones that are not used that much, to serve as eVTOL landing sites. Whisk, a major leader in urban air mobility, published a report in September 2021 explaining how the US has over 5,000 public airports located in an average of 20 minutes by car from anywhere in the country. As these airports are already structured for air travel, it'll be an efficient idea of utilizing the already existing infrastructure and passenger services, like air traffic control and flight paths. This could even make them a potential ideal location for eVTOLs takeoff and landing. Another potential short-term solution for eVTOL landing sites are parking lots. Ricky Sandhu, the head of Urban Airport, which has created its own concept for drone and flying taxi infrastructure, says, "Parking lots seem like an obvious example because they're large and have a big roof. And if you can release some of that parking capacity from the rooftop to land eVTOLs, that's great." Reef Technology, a real estate company specializing in parking, has joined forces with 2 taxi developers to transform the rooftops of their parking garages into landing sites for eVTOL. The initiative is set to begin in Los Angeles and Miami. However, there are still many challenges to be overcome with these short-term solutions as well. For example, the number of underused airports available in the US are not available in other parts of the world, so the target audience won't be reached, making the idea very restrictive. When talking about the parking structures, as they weren't designed for eVTOLs in the first place, it won't be a surprise if they're not able to accommodate the weight and size of eVTOLs. Additionally, the lack of suitable infrastructure such as elevators and stairs may make it difficult for passengers to access the landing sites. Long-term solutions. Let's be real, tinkering with existing infrastructure will only contribute to the mess. What we really need is a completely new and well-planned infrastructure, solely designed for the purpose of flying taxis. One such solution is the development of dedicated eVTOL landing sites known as vertiports. With features such as charging infrastructure, passenger facilities, and air traffic control systems tailored to meet the needs of these vehicles, vertiports are the missing piece we've been waiting for to make flying taxis a reality. Singapore confirmed this when it unveiled the first ever vertiport in 2019 in the Marina Bay area. The Voloport, created through a collaboration between Skyports and Volocopter, is cost-efficient, modular, and flexible so it can be adapted for use on land, at sea, or even on a raised platform. The plan is to establish a network across the city-state, with services expected to begin as early as this year. Right now, it'll be for tourism purposes, but it won't be long till a complete network will be in place. Only 3 more years. We also have an urban airport who's partnered with Hyundai Motor Group to create modular hubs integrating with ground infrastructure on land and water for air taxis and cargo drones. These easy-to-set-up electric urban airports will be ideal for climate change as well as remote locations and disaster zones. Ricky Sandhu, the founder of Urban Airport, has said, "Urban Airport will change the way we travel forever, unlocking clean urban air transport for everyone, improving connectivity in congested cities, cutting pollution, and boosting productivity." The plan is being rapidly executed with an announcement of creating 200 sites in the next 5 years. Veron Vehicles is launching their new urban air mobility system in Latin America, specifically Colombia. You may be thinking, why Colombia? Well, because there's a serious lack of proper mobility infrastructure there. And they're not just bringing the vehicles, they're bringing fleets of aircraft, fancy schmancy aerospace architecture to connect their vertiports and the vertiports themselves. The plan is to have each of these virtual lanes reserved just for eVTOLs, so there won't be any mid-air collisions. Each route will be carefully planned out to avoid no-fly zones and other tricky spots. We've all heard this enough. When will we actually see them running? According to Ricky Sandhu, we'll start seeing more and more of them over the next few years. I believe by 2025, we'll be a lot more familiar with seeing air taxis and eVTOLs in our skies, whether it's from the continued demonstrations or piloted tests and demos to actual, real services with cargo drones bringing your packages to a nearby location. These vehicle companies need to get certified and approved, which can take time. So it's going to be a slow burn, and it could be a decade before we're all flying around like birds. But hey, at least it's happening, right? The infrastructure is finally catching up to the vehicles, so it's safe to get all giddy about it now. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Let us know what you think about the urban air mobility plan in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.